Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I have seen a deterioration in journalism in Bermuda. It has concerned me over the last few weeks. The unfair, the improper, the jaded, the slanted nature of reporting that we have seen in our country. Most recently, I saw, Mr. Speaker, an article that was an opinion that was written by one that walked with us, that talked with us, that sat with us, Mr. Rolf Commission. The article is entitled, "Another Day in the Life on Tom Island." I read that article and see the word Tom is a euphemism that is used to down cry. It's akin to the word nigger. It's something in the Black community that when you call someone an Uncle Tom, it is an unkind, it is derogatory, and it is what we call fighting words. On the 19th of October 2002, the title of the opinion by Rolf Commission was "Another Day in the Life of Tom Island." The picture is of Minister Jason Hayward and the Honorable Premier. Now, here's the thing. If substitute those words with LGBTQ, there would have been an outcry in this country. Substitute those words with the word Jew. Substitute those words with white, and this country would have been up in arms. We were comfortable with it. We were satisfied with it. We felt that this was par for the course. But this comes from a man that sat with us, a blemished man that this party, with all his public faults, took him, embraced him, and allowed him to reach his potential for service in this country. Understanding the fundamental problem that he had in his life, we embraced him and loved him and allowed him to reach his potential, because we all know that even with our flaws, we can be used for the betterment, for the advancement of the people in this country. I was saddened when I saw that article and the inference that the men in that picture do not work on the behalf of the people of this country. Offensive. The editor should be ashamed of himself for allowing that piece to run in the newspaper. I had waited for weeks to decry these words in this newspaper. He goes further in this nonsense piece to refer to the men in this party with Jamaican mothers, and he suggests that he would say it in patois. That because we, more so than anybody else, should understand what it's like for people in this country to go without food in their belly. Offensive. Offensive. I would never allow someone to speak of my mother in veiled terms, in disrespectful terms. And the veiled statement is that MP Lawrence Scott, the Honorable David Burt, and myself would not work on behalf of the people in this country. That is the very reason why we are here, giving our lifeblood, taking this nonsense, standing up to foolishness, making sure that we work hard. It's because we believe in the people of this country, and we will always fight for the people of this country. How could we allow for the Royal Gazette to use this title and not hold them accountable? We speak of us having and treating each other with respect in Bermuda. We should hold them accountable for this devastatingly bad article in this paper. Rolf Commission needs to be held accountable for what he said about the men and women in this party. He sat in this room understanding how hard we fight. He struggled with us. He sat on the parole board appointed by this premier, allowed to do so by me when I was the minister. But everyone else said he should not have been given to the chairmanship of the parole board. We gave him the opportunity because we believe that there is merit in all of the work that we do. Has he forgotten that? And now he stands to challenge the essence of who we are, that we don't believe in the people in this country who we serve day in and day out. He is audacious at best and disgraced himself, his legacy, with these words. Mr. Speaker, I pivot on from the unfortunate comments that is made about this man who once walked with us to go to something that I am most proud about, Mr. Speaker. Today, we hosted the Tourism Summit. Mr. Speaker, there were over 250 people in the auditorium, and they came and they went throughout the day. The Tourism Authority, they highlighted what they will do with the tourism plan. Mr. Speaker, they highlighted the new tourism campaign, Lost Yet Found. They put the video up. We were able to share with all of the stakeholders the direction of travel for Bermuda. It was good to see all of the stakeholders in the room, Mr. Speaker, from the tour operators, Mr. Speaker. It was good to see the people that at Dolphin Quest and all the hoteliers in the room, the people that do the dive shops, the people that run the restaurants, the Corporation of Hamilton. The room was filled with everyone who will touch tourism. And what I saw in that room, what I saw with the passion in the room, that we're back, baby. What I saw that after 2 years of not being able to ply our trade, the people of Bermuda in tourism were excited about the opportunity to talk about what we do well. This afternoon, it was a difficult conversation, Mr. Speaker. We were talking about the airlift. I watched as all of the industry people sat on the stage and they talked about how we get back the airlines. And they said something to me that I didn't know. They said that we are so focused that we lost Boston, we are not understanding what we do have in the Charlotte hub. That Charlotte is one of the biggest, the busiest, and the best connecting points in America. So having Charlotte, something that we have, it is so significant that so many people are trying to get to Charlotte, that us having Charlotte totally will advance and give us the ability to connect with the North, with the South, and with the Caribbean. And that for Bermuda, it has been a very powerful and positive move going to Charlotte. They then highlighted, because we were so upset that we lost Boston, he said, don't you realize that Bermuda left Gatwick and we're now at Heathrow? And that the change from Gatwick to Heathrow represents a seismic shift in the amount of people in Europe that are able to get to Bermuda, something that we should be proud of. But so myopic are we that we don't realize that we're doing things in a good way. We went further to talk about the mega yacht strategy. The mega yacht strategy is a strategy that emerged because we couldn't get our planes into Bermuda. And so the team put together a strategy out of necessity that we need to target a different audience because we can't get planes in during the pandemic. And what they realized that based on the amount of mega boats and mega yachts that were coming to Bermuda, it created a new revenue stream that didn't exist before. So now that the cruise ships are coming back, now that the airlines are picking up, we have another arrow in our quiver. They gave us some indication about what is happening with sports tourism. Whether it is SailGP or the triathlon that we just saw, and the golfing events that we have in Bermuda, a number of people again are looking at our numbers for sports tourism or experiential travel. People are coming to Bermuda again. And as we dug down into the numbers and the direction of travel for Bermuda, I was buoyed. I felt the energy around tourism that I haven't felt in a very long time. But something else happened very strange in that room today that I felt proud of. I looked at this team and I saw a Bermudian hit squad. From the receptionist to the interim CEO, I looked at everybody getting up, presenting, leading, Bermuda at its finest. The men were all adorned in blue blazers and Bermuda shorts and long socks. To me, it was important because this represented a shift. The dynamic shift in tourism I saw leading at this summit, Bermudians proud, Bermudians at the zenith of their careers, Bermudians that knew everything about the area of speciality. That's what we want. We want our people to take their leadership roles and, Mr. Speaker, and be the best. And today, as a Bermudian, my chest was as far as it could go out. Why? Because after 2 years, I saw the best of who we are. I listened as everyone came up and talked about the area of speciality. And I realized that all our lives, we have waited for this day. this day for people that look like us, saw like us, educated by us to come back home and take their rightful place. It only could mean one thing, Mr. Speaker, that we've gotten it. We realize that we don't have to hide who we are. We don't have to cower from who we are. We simply have to be who we are. And when I saw the Lost Yet Found campaign, oh, Mr. Speaker, I was excited. I saw us jumping off of the rocks. I saw us doing the things that we naturally do, not two horses walking on a beach, and that was important and had its place. But guess what? We finally growing comfortable showing and telling who we are, the essence of who we are. And today, we saw that story being given to everyone. I stood in the room and the CEO spoke and she brought her team up. And I looked and I could connect every family on the stage. We know each other. We see each other. When they were talking about what the future looks like in Bermuda, they were in Boston last week and they took the first city, they went to Boston. And I saw them in Boston. And when I saw everybody in their Bermuda shorts and hearing them talk about what we're doing and about the experience travel and what we're going to do in Bermuda, I was excited for what it represents. Outside of the pride, outside of the feel-good factor, I think we're onto something, Mr. Speaker. I think that we have hotels, and we can call it the renaissance of tourism. I believe the Southampton Princess deal will go through. I believe that Elbow Beach will go through. We look at Cambridge beaches, that's back on. We look at the St. Regis, we look at the Loring, we look at Azura. We are seeing some development in the tourism industry. We can say what we want. Go to Hamilton Princess, walk around the rooms. Grotto Bay is picking up momentum. We see in Bermuda that we are coming back. What we heard about today, we heard about the strategy from the experts, from our consultants, from the airport authority in what we're doing for the summer months with tourism, with the airline, And what we realize is that we will have the air capacity that we need, and we will continue to go from strength to strength. Well, what about Boston? People go there for medical reasons. Of course, we need to work on that. And we believe next year, not this winter, the following winter, we believe that we are on course to have the Boston flight back. And so everything that we were concerned about, we are learning that the summer we will have back New York, the British Airways is going to be resuming regular flights. We are going in the right direction. But here's the thing. The thing that we have to understand, Mr. Speaker, is that we are tourism. So if you are a bartender, Mr. Speaker, you have to know everything about drinks, but at the same time, you have to be able to tell people about the Rack of the Vixen and about 1609 and Sir George Summers, because you are ambassador. When you get in a taxi, guess what? We have to implore of our taxi driver that you are a part of the project, about a part of the product. That our tourists have to be able to get around the island, they have to be picked up, they have to be on Front Street, and we have a responsibility to work harder because this is a part of who we are. When we go into restaurants, we have to make sure that our young people see an opportunity. See, Mr. Speaker, our young people did not want to go to the hospitality industry because we made service look like servitude. In other words, they could be a pearl diver or they could be a waiter, but we didn't show them a vertical path, how they can be a manager, how they could be a maitre d', how they could be a GM. And so our young people always saw this as a means to an end. All of us have a history, Mr. Speaker, of being in the hotel industry, but it was always a means to an end. Now that cycle has to change with education. We have to go in and hold the hotels accountable. If you're coming to Bermuda and you're setting up, you have to put spaces in your hotel, training and development for Bermudians. And that's something that we've done and that we will continue to do. The point is that we are tourism. Our young people, our ambassadors, our shop owners, our shopkeepers. Front Street, we have to start making that a place of prominence again. Open the shops up. Yes, we have to look at St. George's. Everybody has to be in this game to understand it's just not enough for us as a country to want tourists to come to Bermuda. We have to make this product so strong. We have to make our services so good. We have to be so loving. We have to be so kind. We have to be so friendly. We have to have a niche product because guess what? We're never going to compete on price. We have to have unique experiences that people come back. We have to be so in tune with the visitor that they see us, they want to be a part of us through the experience, to what we bring, that is the secret sauce. You think the beaches are the secret sauce? We are that secret sauce. And for a long time, we got so cocky, so arrogant. that we thought that just because this country exists, that people are going to come to Bermuda, and we learned our lesson. Now, when we get the hotels back, we've had the opportunity to train and regroup. I saw that plan today. I saw the tourism plan evidence. If anybody wants to see the national tourism plan, it's on the tourism website. Go to Bermuda.com. People always say, what's the plan for tourism? The entire national tourism plan is online, line for line, precept upon precept. Go and see it. It says what the plan is for the next 5 years. Go online, look at the tourism plan, hold that team to account for the plan that we said we're going to use. The interim CEO has been stomped on by that same demon of what I call the press. Demonized. And every day, and Mr. Speaker, she didn't ask for the job. The board invited her and asked her, because there was a vacancy, would she fill that gap? And she took on a Bermudian. Interesting story, Mr. Speaker. I did not know long-term the interim CEO. Her maiden name was Fenton. Her grandmother was Miss Fenton. Miss Fenton was responsible, as you may or may not know, for teaching all of the kids on Parsons Road. Guess what I found out? Mrs. Caines, that was responsible for teaching everybody top of Happy Valley all the way to Carvin Avenue. Guess what? That was my grandmother. Miss Fenton and Miss Caines were best friends. Her grandmother and my grandmother were best friends. Something that I only found out a couple of weeks ago. Why is that important? That is important because we're all interconnected, Mr. Commission. We all, no matter what we do for the betterment of this country. So 70 years ago, when our grandmothers were teaching piano lessons on Happy Valley and Parsons Road, they are seeing the legacy of their grandchildren in 2022, still working for the betterment of the people. So it doesn't matter necessarily what room you are in, it matters what you do in the room that you are in. I beg of this country to allow the Bermuda Tourism Authority, stacked from the top to the bottom with talented Bermudians, give them the opportunity to lead, support them, undergird them. All these Twitter fingers and name the plumes and everybody going under the article to debase that team, to demoralize the team. That's the team that we put there. Those are the people that after they rejoin nonsense, still have to go out and go around the world and tell them about this beloved country. A friend of mine said they wanted to come to Bermuda, and so they did a Google search of Bermuda and the BTA. She said that she saw more negative comments by the people of Bermuda and the press than she did with advertising and asking people to come to Bermuda. We have a press that are so desperate to malign this government that they take the opportunity, instead of bringing the BTA up, lauding our staff, congratulating our young people, they deplore and bring them down at every point. That when people log on to learn about Bermuda, they see the naysayers, they see the bad mind more than they see the beauty and the opportunities that we have in Bermuda. We have an opportunity now to have a BTA of talented, disciplined, industry-focused young Bermudians who have a clear plan that is outlined, a new marketing campaign, lost yet found. Lost yet found. I love it. A play on the Bermuda Triangle and finding yourself in Bermuda through beautiful experiences, tying them into the tapestry of who we are, going to the major cities, working with the airlines, using the experiences that we have, drawing people in at cup match time, drawing people in at Easter, making sure that we have all the different sports coming to Bermuda to train. They are on a good wicket. We have opportunities to train and develop young people. We must continue to show, number one, that we get it as a country, that we will undergird our leadership, that we will give them the opportunity to succeed. Today, I said publicly that the board support Tracy Berkeley and the leadership team at the BTA. That we support her and that she has our support. Why? Because as a country, we're at a crossroads, Mr. Speaker. We have no other choice but to succeed. And they have done their sums. They have done their sums, long division. And today, I was honored to see that team share that vision with this country. They're ready. And we must support them, Mr. Speaker. We must love them and we must let them know how proud we are of them. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, member.